All right. So our final ritual, and those were all Hindu rituals. They were Shaiva. They were from the Sudisha Tantra. Our final ritual is going to look, set of rituals is going to be from Buddhist text and then another Hindu text. So what's conjuring? So conjuring here, when I say yakshini sadhana, means the evocation of a deity, calling her forth, making her materialize in the space around you. Now, the word sadhana, the second part of yakshini sadhana, literally means a practice, a commitment, or a discipline. Sadhana could refer to also a ritual or a set of ritual practices. This could range from meditative discipline to a wide range of ritual actions. But what's a yakshini? Now, a yakshini is a female yaksha. Yakshas are very early, very ancient South Asian deities associated with trees and who would receive sacrifices, often blood sacrifices, at tree shrines. Presumably, such sacrifices are done with a pragmatic orientation, but generally, when I look at the iconography on these, they tend to have children around them. So I think they were connected to fertility and healthy childbirth. Now, yakshinis. Yakshinis are grouped together with a wide range of dangerous, wild, unruly, ambivalent spirit beings. Here are all female versions of them. So you have Rakshinis, a female Rakshasa, and a Rakshasa, it literally means protector, but that's almost like a euphemism. They will kill you. They will not protect you. So they're dangerous. They're wild. In Hindi, sometimes I've heard, and especially in Hindi English, people say, look at this Rakshas thing over here. You know, something that's like a Rakshasa, something that's just big and scary and wild. I remember riding a car with a friend of mine who was Indian and another pal of hers, and she turns to him and says, look at this Rakshas SUV over here. Rakshas, like this Rakshasa of this giant truck. There's no need to have this. Anyway, so you also have yoginis. Oh, I put yoginas. Yoginis. Yoginis are a yogin is a yogi, one who does yoga, but yoginis, which you would think would be female yoga practitioners, no, they're animal-headed witches who will devour you if you're not careful. But if you worship them right, they'll give you magic powers. We'll see that in a minute. We have snake-like beings of the underworld where they hold wisdom, waters, and jewels. These are called naginis. Naginis, like snaky gals. And then bhutanis. Bhuta means a being. That's sort of euphemistic when somebody say a bhut or a bhutha in Indic languages. That means a ghost. So you have this whole wild range of these crazy deities. And I am translating out of here from a text called the Buddha-dhamma Tantra, the text about the noisy ghost lord, or the ghost hooligan, I've described it as. Anyway, so what are these rituals? One goes to an isolated place, and he sort of calls up a yakshini or another one of these related female entities with mantra, so it's spoken spell of praise, and offering worship with incense and herbs and perfumes and sometimes blood sacrifice. Now, and this has been described to me by people that I know in Kathmandu, they describe this happening. They don't describe the deity arriving. Suddenly the wind shifts, or you smell perfume when there's no one around wearing perfume, or the operator who's doing the ritual hears the tinkling of ankle bells. I love that image behind him. He turns and she has arrived. The female being shows up, and if she's pleased, she will grant all sorts of wonderful results. If she's not pleased, or if he approaches her incorrectly or he is timid, then she might kill him. So you got to be careful. I mean, if she's pleased, she will grant you wealth. She will grant you power. You can climb on her back and ascend to the heavens. But if she's not pleased, if you're timid, if you're not brave, she will devour you. There's a famous scholar named Wendy Doniger who said about these types of creatures, you can either be their darling or you will be their dinner. So there's some danger with these creatures. So let's look at a couple. So this is from a Buddhist text called the Buddha-dhamma Tantra. It later becomes a Hindu text. They take all the Buddhism out of it, which is really interesting. It's just now getting published. I did a critical edition of the Buddhist text. So it's exciting to see some new translations come to light. I don't think my critical edition is very good. Oh, well. Okay. So having gone to the temple of Sri Vajradhara, boom, Vajradhara. Who's Vajradhara? He who holds a Vajra. This is the name for like a Buddhist god or a tantric Buddhist entity. The name Vajradhara, he who holds the Vajra, actually, when you go back far enough, is related to shrines of proto-Hindu gods that are called Vajras and Vajradharas. So those sort of ambivalent wild gods get turned into names for Buddhas in Tantric Buddhism. This specific ritual is to bring forth Vimala Sundari, she who is variously, beautifully lovely. She is considered to be a Bhutani or a ghost lord or a demon princess, if you will. So, gone to the temple. Then, you should offer Karavira flowers and fumigate with bdellium incense. So to offer dupa, to offer fragrance and incense. He should repeat the mantra, I'm not giving you here right now, 8,000 times, and then it is perfected. At night, he should again repeat the mantra 1,000 times, and she will surely come. Once arrived, he gives her a bed of kusha grass, which is like a sacred grass, and should say, "You are welcome here. Become my wife." She will give him perfected divine alchemical substances, so mercurial substances that will bring superpowers and forever longevity. What will she also do? She will strike down all his enemies. Good deal. Having mounted her back, she carries him up even to heaven, and he will live for 100,000 years. Little ritual asks an awful lot. That's the cool thing about these magic rituals. It's like you do this little thing and it has this huge result. They have a small obligation in comparison to the grand results. So here's another one from the same text. Having gone to the banks of a river, the practitioner makes a ritual space using sandalwood water, so water with sandalwood in it. He should fumigate, so offering camphor, which is a resin that burns, it smells really lovely. It's often used in Hindu temples, and should also offer white and red flowers. White and red also stand for menstrual blood and semen. At night, he should come again and repeat the mantra 1,000 times, and she surely comes. Once she has arrived, he offers her sandal water and flowers, like he'd been offering before, and he says, "Be my sister." And if he does that, she will give him perfected alchemical substances. And she will also attract a woman, not a Karshana, but a Naitwa. So he'll lead a woman to him, even if she is 1,000 yojanas away. Even if she is 1,000, consider yojana 1,000 miles. That's fine. Or 7 miles. Even if she's 7,000 miles away from a really long way. And then here's another one that is from the same Tantra, and this is to this great goddess Katyayani, Mahakatyayani, who's an early Hindu prototype goddess who later gets associated with the goddess Durga. Now, you'll remember here, he goes to a temple of Vajradhara. That's either a Buddhist temple or a temple to a Yaksha lord. Here, he goes to the banks of a river. Other places say you go to a lonely tree, a deserted temple, a river bank that's very isolated, an empty beach. So lonely, isolated places to do these things. The essence of this is you go out to a lonely place, you make offerings, and then they show up. And I would argue if there's any sort of primordial, ever-present religious experience, it's that one. Having gone to the banks of a river, the practitioner makes a ritual space using sandal water. He should fumigate with wait, I already read that one. He should approach a linga, which is a symbol associated with Shiva's penis. So it's a phallic symbol. And there's a whole bunch that goes into it. It's an aniconic form of the god Shiva. So when you look at this sort of like cone-looking thing, you see Shiva. Okay, the god Shiva, that is. He should approach a linga at night and perform 8,000 repetitions of a mantra. On the first night, he hears the sound of tinkling anklets. On the second night, a celestial wife arrives, shining brightly. On the third day, she speaks to him like a child. "Hey, practitioner, what would you have me do for you?" The practitioner should say, "Oh, goddess, look favorably upon me." Results are varied and stupendous. He will live to old age, all the while she gives him everything he requests. He climbs upon her back and she carries him across oceans, even to Mount Meru's peak. He may go to the house of Kubera, the god of wealth, and the opulent god gives him wealth and jewels. Conveying him to the northern bank of Jambudvipa, the giant mountain in the center of the universe, she grants him gorgeous, bejeweled women. The goddess grants all his desires. He shall live 100 years, and this is cool. And when he dies, he will be reborn into a vassal royal family, a Samanta Rajakula, a family of royalty. I can't go into Samantaraj right now. Okay, but then there's a Hindu one too. So I dug this out of a text called the Udameshwari, or the Udameshwara Tantra. So that's a Hindu text. The last one was a Buddhist text. Sura Sundari, the very good looking lady. Om Hri Agacha Agacha Sura Sundari Swaha. Now you get the mantra. I actually gave you the mantra there. Somebody can try this out. Tell me if it works. Having gone to a temple of Vajrapani. What? Vajrapani and Vajradhara, those are both Buddhist deities. And they're associated with early yakshas. So there's yaksha connections here. But this is a Hindu text, and it's telling you to go to a Buddhist temple. Things aren't as split as they appear. All right. So having gone to the temple of Vajrapani, the practitioner offers Badalium, it's hard to say, fumigations, and performs worship during the 3 temporal conjunctions. So like morning, noon, and night. He should perform 1,000 repetitions during the 3 temporal conjunctions for an entire month. Then at the end of the month, she will appear before his eyes. On the final day of the month, he offers oblation water with red and white, which is semen and menstrual blood, I'm quite sure. Then, which are considered sexual substances. They're not impure in any way. The menstrual blood is considered like a gloriously erotic, wonderful thing. It's in erotics, generally menstrual blood and the time of menses is considered the time for the greatest amorous delight between male and female lovers. Then, and this is so cool, and the Buddhist texts say the same type of phrase all over the place. Then, having arrived, she becomes either a mother, a sister, or a wife, and she will perform actions appropriate to that role. How so? I wonder. If she is a mother, then she gives him perfected alchemical substances. Again, powers and longevity. If she's a sister, then she will give him legendary, priceless, fine clothing. If she's a wife, then she will richly bestow upon him universal sovereignty. So, magical rule. He will rule over the earth. However, should the bed he prepares for her when she comes as a wife is occupied by another person, she will become desirous of lovemaking with him or murderous. So there's some risks on this one. Okay,